Boom, 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 boom. This is our fork in the road. Love last episode. There's nowhere to go. Oh no. Well, you made a choice. And now it's up to me to bow out gracefully. You know you hold the key. Baby, whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around. Hello, folks, and I'm Silver5150, and I am back, baby, and I am here to stay with some irrational exuberance. Today, we're going to talk about the cognitive dissonance in the markets. All right? Cognitive dissonance is this phenomenon to where if you have a certain set of criteria and a certain routine that goes on and on and on forever, you have a hard time believing that anything else could exist. It has been beat down so bad in the silver market over the years that people think that higher prices do not exist. They don't even remember a time when silver was $40 an ounce. I remember when silver was $40 an ounce. I remember when silver was $48 an ounce. And I still say today that we're going to see $600 an ounce probably this year next. I know, you can't say that because it is not reasonable and it is not sensible and it can mislead people. Okay, and it's probably hyperbole, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I come from a history and I come from a set of experiences that tells me that I know what silver can do because I've seen it happen in other metals. Guys, I've actually owned metals that have gone up 9, 10, 12 times. Talking about rhodium, talking about palladium, for examples. And I've cashed in on those metals. I've actually experienced the increases in metals when a set of economic circumstances causes them to rise really high. Now, for those that think that the price of silver is what it is because the COMEX or the market says that's what it is, well, if you're going by the numbers and you're just going strictly with the assignment of the numbers, then absolutely you're right. You're right. That is the price of silver as set by the COMEX, but it is something that I think is being done illegally. And what I mean by illegally is there is no criteria that calls for a $15 billion silver market to have $4.5 trillion worth of paper assets to accompany the physical assets to create a $5 trillion market. That's not something that is legal or right. You couldn't do that with Apple stock. You couldn't do that with Amazon. Could you imagine if you leveraged Amazon 300 times, what the value of their stock would be? It wouldn't be $1,000. If it's $1,000 now, it'd probably be more like $10. Anyway, when you start to think about silver and what it's supposed to do, yes, it is a good monetary metal. And yes, it is a good industrial metal. And yes, it works very well with medical breakthroughs and technologies and antibacterial, activities and all that stuff. But silver is also insurance and a hedge against inflation. And guys, if you don't think there's inflation right now, every time a politician opens his mouth, says million, billion, and I think even now they're talking trillion, in terms of these packages that they're putting together, that is more inflation that is going into the system, and that is inflation that is absolutely going to have to be absorbed by silver and gold and other commodities. Now, we saw a little bit of action earlier in the markets today, and some good action tonight in the futures markets, but I can tell you right now, these are just, basically, opening acts to what we're going to experience. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to apologize for being irrationally exuberant, as I've heard it called, about what I think silver is going to do. I talk in terms of what I expect to be able to purchase and buy with silver in the future. Yes, today I was on Realtor.com and I was looking at properties on 17 Mile Drive by Pebble Beach because I think at some point with my 15,000 plus ounces that I'll be able to leverage into a luxury market that's on the way down in deflation. While our silver is moving into inflation and inflating into a bubble, we can use it as currency to trade for cash to get the things we need. Now, how does that happen? You guys know, if you've been watching my channel, that I have positioned myself with Money Metals Exchange in Idaho with a depository account. And the only reason I felt comfortable doing that is because I've sold some metals I told you about at many multiples, by the way, that I purchased them at, like rhodium and palladium, with Money Metals, got cash in 2 days, Okay, and use that cash to either buy more silver or pay some bills or do something fun. I've already experienced that life. I've already done it. I've already played the revaluation. I've already experienced the great purchasing power and freedom that it gives you when you make those gains. And I've experienced the gains. And I'm telling you right now, silver has had no opportunity to present its ability to do that. So, Money Metals Exchange. I call them up. I say, hey, I got some South Korean tigers in there. I want to sell 6 of them. They're like, okay. They pull them out of the vault. They evaluate them. They figure out, what it's going to cost for them to take them. I accept that price. They send the money to my bank account. Done. All right. And this is right now when spot price is $15.60 an ounce. I could probably get about $50 for one of those tigers because of the premiums on them. Money Metals may give me $40 for them. It's okay because I paid $24 for them. And the thing is, I'm not trying to get top dollar, but if I need liquidity and I need it fairly fast, I can use those guys at Money Metals to get me the cash I need. But what happens when silver goes to $40 an ounce, $100 an ounce, $400, $600, $1,700? All right? I know this sounds like hyperbole, and I know it sounds crazy, but consider the history of inflation and other commodities and other things in our past. All right, just to give you an example. And before I get started on these examples, let me just take a minute here to look at this. Look at these absolutely gorgeous Rwandan buffaloes. Water buffaloes from Rwanda. 100 Rwandan buffaloes. That's right. You're looking at 100 Rwandan buffaloes that I picked up at J.M. Bullion, which are on sale for around $25, almost $26 a piece. And these are the coins I was talking about you watching out for when the premiums are really high, but the spot price is really low, because when that happens, the spot price brings the overall coin down. And yes, you're not going to avoid the premiums on a lot of that, but you wait for the spot price to come down, and now you can pick up a $40 coin for about $25. If you go retail these coins now on Amex, of course, they want like $50 for them because everything on there is sky high. But the thing is, it's like anything else in silver investing and silver buying. Guys, we're at a stage in the process. We're at a stage in this epic odyssey we're on where you really can't lose. The only way you can lose is if you manage to overpurchase so much that you have to sell somewhere really quick at a loss because you need quick cash. I'm sorry, but I think I probably have the monopoly on talking about buying silver at a risk. I think as Silver 5150, I've done the craziest bleep you've ever seen in silver, buying silver, than anybody has. All the guys that are on there and they're talking about, playing it safe and, only spending what you have. Well, that makes perfect sense. If you're raising a family, if you have a mortgage and you have these things that are going on, absolutely take care of your bills and stuff. I got a big black truck out there that I just made my first payment on today, and it stunk. I didn't want to do it, but I did it because I was thinking I could have bought more silver. But no, I'm going to pay my bills too. But what I do know is that every penny that I can sink away into silver is a win, period. There's no reason to feel like you're at any risk buying silver. You know who was at risk when they had silver? These are the guys that were going around to private coin shows and traveling around with all their kit and their gear and stuff and going to these coin shows back before there was the internet, back before there was any internet purchasing. These guys had to go to coin shows and people had to show up at the shows and they hoped the security hold together and they could sell their coins, and whatnot. And then they had to haul that stuff back home. Those are the guys at risk. We don't really have the right to be scared of the silver market because we're in a winning position. We really are. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the historical inflation that's been going on with some of the other things out there. Let's go ahead and flip this coin over so we can get a good look at the back there. Okay. So to give you an example, since 1913, I use 1913 as a reference because the Federal Reserve was incepted in 1913. If you haven't read a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island by Edward G. Griffin, please go pick that book up and read it. You need to know what the Federal Reserve is all about, why it was created, and why it was so important that we have Federal Reserve notes instead of actual silver or gold notes in our money, because there's no limit to the amount of Federal Reserve notes you can print. As you can tell when you listen to these legislators talk about printing trillions for these spending bills. Now, back in 1913, you can get oil for 12 times less than it was today. So back in 1913, oil has appreciated since then 12.6 times. Okay, since 1913, and I think oil today is probably around $26 a barrel. Okay, gold has appreciated 57 times since 1913, right? 57 times. I think gold was what, $20 an ounce back then because Roosevelt hadn't revalued it yet, right? Eggs have only appreciated 7 times, because eggs is one of those staples, man, to where back then in 1913 they were luxury, and so was milk, and so was bread. But today, they're considered staples. But even then, bread's appreciated 25 times. Guys, I'm not talking about 25. I'm not talking about 25, 100%. I'm talking 25 times. Okay, since then. Milk 9 times since 1913 has gone up. Potatoes 38 times. It has gone up in valuation, revalued 38 times higher than it was. Now get ready for this. Apple stock has appreciated in value 130 times since 1995. It has increased 130 times since its original inception as an IPO in 1995. 130 times. Homes. The median price for homes in the United States since 1913 has gone up 1,000 times. Median price for a home in 1913 was $3,000. Okay, today it is $300,000 in the United States. Okay, ground beef has gone up 17 times since 1913. All right, a car 23 times if you want, and that was a luxury item back then in 1913. If you want to buy a car in 1913, it was quite a bit of money back then. But even since that time, if adjusted for inflation, the car has appreciated. The cost has increased 23 times since 1913. We're talking about inflation here. We're talking about real world inflation, things that you buy and need, right? So these numbers, 57, 1,000, 130 times, homes, and ground beef 17 times, all these different things that have appreciated. Silver has appreciated 5.5 times since 1913. All right, the close thing only comes even close is eggs at 7 times. So yes, is silver as valuable as eggs, or eggs more valuable than silver? Well, in a sense, if you're starving to death, they absolutely are. But it's a monetary asset that can function as an industrial asset, as a medical asset, as a hedge against inflation, and a savings tool, and an insurance policy. Okay, I think that silver deserves better billing. It deserves a better price. It is worth more. The price is higher than any $15 an ounce. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. All right. So we know that there is an element out there holding the price down. But why would they do that? Because if silver's worthless, right? Why is it even on the index? That's what I want to know. If silver has no real worth, because if you think about it, the way the price has been hammered down, when it was down to 1171 that one night here 3 weeks ago. And by the way, let's keep in mind, silver was down to 1171 3 weeks ago, and now it's up to 1570. That is a $4 increase, a 37% increase in its price in the last 3 weeks, which shows you the dynamic moves that silver can make and that the real energy hasn't poured into it yet. But here's what we know also. Looking at the debt clock, and I always point to the debt clock, not as an actual Bible to what the price of silver should be, but the debt clock is simply a tool we use to gauge the amount of economic energy that has interest in silver, the amount of economic tools that are required to keep the price of silver where it is. That's 175 paper ounces into COMEX, which is explained clearly as derivatives designed to increase the size of the physical silver market with non-physical silver, paper, okay, has complete influence on the price of physical silver. And that is not right. You guys know that is not right. Okay? I'm not saying that if you take the $2,000, per ounce price against dollars with silver, times 175 paper ounces per single physical ounce, silver should be $320,000. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it should not be $15.60 an ounce. And I will say that with my dying breath. Now, here's the thing about cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance says that if you've been in a situation for so long, you can't see the situation being any different. You can't see something resembling a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I can, and I always will. I'm always going to be Pollyanna, and I'm always going to be positive about silver. There will come a day when we'll be able to use the silver that we managed to hold on to through this old system into the new system. I don't know how much purchasing power we're going to have here in the old system, because they can keep it alive with, phony dollars that are digitally printed in a computer until, they just blow the thing wide open. All right. So they can keep the price of silver down using that method. They can keep the prices of stocks up using that method. But at what point do they print so much that people just look and start laughing and go, oh my gosh, the Federal Reserve note is worthless? And that's when we will see the valuation of silver take place, when belief in the old system is gone, when confidence in the old currency is gone. Dollar first, and it's going to take everything down with it because every other currency is tied to dollars. All right? So, look here. The new system is probably going to involve something digital. The new system is probably going to require, that we work for a new type of currency and probably digital. And I think that when the time comes, if you don't have silver and you're trying to survive in this new paradigm, you're going to lose a lot of your old wealth in the old currency, okay? Which is why I tell people to try to turn their strong dollars into things that they're going to need now and not harvest so many of them in savings. You're going to lose that value because they're going to inflate away debt and they're going to inflate away savings along with it, right? And if you have to work for the new currency, you're going to probably be working at a rate of 1 ounce of silver per week or an ounce of gold every 2 months, okay? Whereas if you pick some up now, you are storing away all of those hours of hard human labor in a single ounce of silver, possibly 100 hours, 90 hours, 80 hours. 80 hours is 2 weeks. 2 weeks of hard human labor in this 1 ounce of silver that's undervalued and kept smashed down for an express purpose. All right. The powers that be do not want you interested in silver. They want you scared to death of silver. They don't want you to touch it. They want to get it for themselves and then use it to create the new financial instruments for the new paradigm. Don't be the people that are trying to get it or earn their way into it when the new paradigm shows up. Please get some now. Premiums are high. Yes, I know. Silver's available. Yes, I know. Choose wisely. Buy the stuff you want. If you buy what you want, you don't feel so bad about how much you paid. But try to pay as little as you can. Always try to get the best deal. I don't have any problem against that. But the idea that we're buying silver because we think we're going to see a 1.5 times, profit, or a 2 times or even 3 times profit, I'm sorry. That is way, way, way off base. And I'll you know what? I'll stand by that. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be making videos. And for, everyone that wants to come on, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about, you're misleading people and you're giving the wrong idea and the wrong impression. I'm not even telling you to buy silver. Okay. If you haven't bought any silver and you're still on the fence about it, you probably shouldn't. All right. But if you're buying it and you're wondering if you're buying too much, take it from a guy who's a high school dropout, who's had nothing but regular trades and labor jobs his entire life, right? That has acquired silver using every instrument, done every dangerous technique, sold metal against metal, used credit, used refinancing into new loans to get lower rates, anything, the interest rate system, the credit system, the commodity system, the dollar system, all of it. Work 3-4 jobs, everything, because I know that every single ounce is going to pay me many, many multitudes times my effort and times my expenditure and sacrifice in return. It's as simple as that. The debt clock, it is not a gauge to tell us what the value of silver should be. It is a gauge to tell us what the interest and the energy and the activity around silver is. And guys, I can tell you, there is a truckload of it. Do not be afraid of silver. Do not think that you're going to lose on silver. Even at these high premiums, you're not going to lose on silver. Now, you're not going to get the deals we used to get. I remember most of my silver I bought is when silver was, spot 13, 14, and the premiums were 49 to 349 an ounce. And that's why I made my big moves on silver. Okay, I'm sorry you missed that, but it's not over. You can still get on something really good. If you think buying a ounce of silver or buying, something like this for $30 is a mistake because the premiums are too high, or buying a silver eagle for 25 or 26 bucks is a mistake. Okay, let's just go ahead and keep that in mind. Let's put that on the shelves. Let's put that on the table, and let's address it later when silver is $50 an ounce spot and the premium's $30. When silver's $500 an ounce spot and the premium's $300. Keep this in your favorites. Keep this so you can reference it later. You said this and you said that. I expect people to come back and tell me that. But I'm telling you right now, all of the shenanigans and the economic energy and the malaise and the epic pandemic we're facing, all these things create economic energy that silver feeds gladly on. Silver is a hungry little gremlin that when fed these elements that we're dealing with right now turns into this gluttonous purchasing power behemoth, it is going to blow your mind what it's going to be able to do once it starts to reach these real valuations. And this is why right now when people aren't interested, wait till people are interested in it. Wait till hedge fund managers and all these big, investment groups are, interested in it as strictly an investment vehicle. Wait till some place like Mexico or Russia says they're going to do a partial back monetization using silver to back a new currency or something like that. You just wait. If you don't have it by then, it will be too late. The premiums will be too high. And you can come back here and you can listen to me and I'll be like, hey man, it's all right though. You got some, so we're good. All right. You don't have to like, share, subscribe to this. I just want to let you guys know I'm back and I'm preaching from the silver mountaintop. It's what I do. I want you guys to gird your loins because I'm telling you right now, this is our one shot. This is the last chance. This is the only chance we get as normal people to get into a position to where our family and our bloodline does not have to worry so much about money anymore or purchasing power. All right. And this is something you're setting up not just for today or tomorrow, but for generations to come. Get in there. If you're able to get in there, you get in there and you help me clean these shelves off. Okay? I'm serious. I'm serious. Now look here. Love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow with something really cool I think you're going to like. But I'm telling you right now, I stand convicted by these words. And I'm telling you right now, you cannot lose buying silver at this point. All right? There will come a point when you will. All right? But it's not going to be anytime soon. Get silver now while it's under $50, okay? And you can yell at me and you can comment and you can tell me that I'm, wrong and all, and I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take the arrows. But I'd rather take the arrows now for saying what I'm saying than having to hear the pain later or, the complaints later because people didn't get in and they could have got in. All right? Love you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you in the morning with an update.